Great Britain has a collection of varied landscapes and countryside to rival anywhere else in the world.
And the best way to see it is to walk.
And we are here to provide some ideas and inspiration. We are the team at Walks Around Britain, and we've been discovering some of the most interesting and varied short walks, from the Highlands of Scotland to the Channel Islands. We've been there discovering the best walking Britain has to offer. If you thought walking was just about mountains, then think again. We've got walks in the countryside, along water and the coast, through woodlands and forests, up fells and hills, around historic buildings and our industrial past, and not forgetting walks through our towns and cities. Walks to do by yourself, in a group, or with your family, be they the human or canine kind. Along the way, we'll be telling fascinating stories about the landscape, its people, and its history. It's all designed to get you out and inspired to experience it for yourselves. Welcome to Walks Around Britain. Hello and you're very welcome to Walks Around Britain. Now on today's programme we've got two walks from railway stations. One's in the city and one's in the countryside. Our city walk is in Chester. But first we're in the Derbyshire town of Buxton. The walk starts from the railway station and heads through the town, reaching Woodward in the north, before walking along an old railway line to reach Solomon's Temple before returning. Allow around 3.5 hours for this 7.25 mile walk. The easiest way to get to Buxton is by train, and Northern run frequent services to the town from Manchester. Come out of the station and turn right, and you'll soon see this lovely window of the original station. Buxton once had two stations. The one which survived was the London and North Western Railway Station. The other, the Midland Railway one, on the right here, was built to the same style, but was closed in 1967 and demolished to make way for this bypass. On the campus of the University of Derby is the site of the former Devonshire Royal Hospital, which was built around the dome of the Duke of Devonshire's stable block. When it was built in 1780, it was the largest unsupported dome in the world. I'm crossing over here to walk down Park Road. To reach the park, a collection of large plain fields surrounded by some stunning houses. From here, it's possible to see the tower we'll be visiting later. A left down Carlisle Road and a right down Watford Road brings me to where residential Buxton ends. This footpath takes me through Cavendish Golf Club. I've seen signs for danger, bulls in field, but this is quite unusual. The course at Cavendish is celebrated for being designed by the legendary golf course designer Alistair Mackenzie. He created Cavendish in 1924, and 8 years later he went on to design the world's most famous golf course at Augusta in Georgia. The footpath crosses a farmyard here, and the owners have laid out many signs to make it clear where the path goes, which is most helpful. No one wants to trespass, so signs like these are fantastic. The walk now goes through Watford Wood and around Gutter Farm. Before turning right here on the public footpath. This is a pretty steep incline on this private road. But the view from the top is lovely. It's easy walking for a while here, as this was once an old railway track bed. Which is also a cycle path. When we think of railway closures, we often think of Dr. Richard Beeching with his axe in the 1960s. But this line closed a long time before that. Here's the remains of a tunnel under the road, and you can see the track to the left. But even in this photo from 1941, the tunnel is closed. In fact, the line north of the tunnel closed in 1892. This section of the walk needs a little skill reading a map, as there aren't as many footpath signs guiding you here, until the walk crosses the A54 and A53 roads. And I'm now walking along Grinlow Road for a short while, before turning left into the country park to see Solomon's Temple. One last push for the climbing now. And there it is. In fact, this is a second tower on this spot. This one was built in 1896 to replace the original 19th century tower built by Solomon Mycock of the Cheshire Cheese Hotel, of which only a few stones remained. It's only 20 foot high, or 6.1 metres, but it's standing on a ridge at a height of 1,440 feet above sea level, or 440 metres. The views from the top of Grinlow are stunning. It's time to return to the station through the residential streets of Buxton and through the Pavilion Gardens. Next to the gardens is the famous Buxton Opera House, designed by Frank Matcham of London Palladium fame, and opened in 1903. Now it's a short walk along the A53 back to the Northern train home.
Well, an interesting walk around Buxton there, and direct from the railway station. Well, after the break, it's time to go to Chester for a walk around the city walls. Welcome back. Now it's to Chester for a walk from the railway station around the city walls.
At 2 miles, this is an easy short walk through the city centre's history. It starts at Chester railway station, threads its way to Eastgate, and then along the city's Roman walls, past the cathedral and King Charles Tower, past Chester's racecourse, and back to the station. It should take around 1.5 hours. Northern run frequent services into Chester. And once you're outside the station, head along City Road, past the Queen Hotel, which was built in 1860 to serve first-class rail travellers, and is now Grade 2 listed. City Road crosses over the Chester Canal, which eventually became the Shropshire Union Canal, when several canal companies joined together. Today, this is a busy waterway for leisure boats and for ducks. Eventually, we reach Chester's funny square roundabout, known as the Bars, and here cross underneath using the subway. Out of the other side and walk along Foregate Street towards the heart of the city. As you walk more towards the centre of Chester, you travel back in time, as the buildings get older and older. At Eastgate, find the steps next to the shop to climb up onto the walls. Above Eastgate is this ornate clock, designed to commemorate the Diamond Jubilee of the reign of Queen Victoria in 1897. Soon Chester's magnificent cathedral is on the left. The building dates back to 1093, and it was originally the abbey church of a Benedictine monastery, until Henry VIII got his way. The walls in Chester were started by the Romans in around 70 to 80 AD and formed the most complete Roman and medieval defensive town walls in Britain. And they offer fantastic views of the city. Ahead is King Charles Tower, which saw action in the Siege of Chester during the English Civil War.
It is said that King Charles I stood on this tower in 1645 and saw his royalist army defeated.
It's also known as Phoenix Tower, as it was once the meeting place for a group of painters whose badge was the phoenix.
Hence that fine carving above the door.
The Shropshire Union Canal follows the north side of the walls. This is the impressive North Gate, traditionally the highest point of the city of Chester. This bridge was built between 1808 and 1810 using local Runcorn sandstone. And further along is Morgan's Mount, a distinctive square tower you can climb to the platform above. The 1966 bridge over the Inner Ring Road is somewhat less impressive than Northgate. And just after is Pemberton's Parlour, which was originally built as a circular tower and is named after a former mayor of Chester. On the northwest corner of the walls is Water Tower, one of two towers built to defend the important port of Chester. I'm now walking over Watergate, a Grade 1 listed bridge, which replaced a medieval gate. Chester Racecourse is on my right here, which is famous for being the oldest racecourse still in use in England. The walls take a break here for the busy A483, so cross carefully, and as you do, the remains of Chester Castle are just ahead. This next section is the only missing part of the walls in the city, so follow the paved walkway as it crosses the road at the start of Lower Bridge Street. The 70-mile-long River Dee passes the south part of the walls, and this weir was built to supply power to the local corn mills in the 11th century. I'm doubling back on myself to join the walls again, to walk over Bridgegate, the historic main route into the city from Wales, with stagecoaches crossing the river over the Old Dee Bridge. This is the city's Roman Gardens, built in 1949 to display fragments from the old Roman fort in Chester. steps lead to the top of Newgate, and from here there's a perfect view of another Roman part of Chester. The remains of the amphitheatre, which was the largest in Britain. I've nearly completed the circuit of the walls now, and here's Eastgate with its clock. And now I retrace my steps back to the station.
What a lovely history-filled walk there around the city of Chester. And if you want to do that walk or any other in our series, you can visit our website for more information, walksaroundbritain.co.uk. And if you've got any videos or photos of your walks that you'd like to share with us, you can do that on our social media channels. The addresses are on screen now. Well, until next time, thanks for watching and happy walking.